For years, people have accused me of being a Disney live-action remake apologist. But even I cannot apologize for this one. Welcome Disney fans, thank you for clicking on my review for Pinocchio, the latest live-action remake which hit Disney Plus this past Thursday on Disney Plus Day, which has them going all the way back to only their second ever animated classic to tell the classic story of a puppet who is brought to life by a fairy, who assigns him to lead a virtuous life in order to become a real boy, taking in lessons through his adventures from his father Geppetto and Jiminy Cricket, who acts as his conscience. Now for reference, I've never been the biggest fan of the original Pinocchio. It is classic quintessential Disney that I enjoy, and it's whimsy and magical, but there's no grand emotional attachment that I have for it. So going into this film, I was with a very open mind. I was excited to see Robert Zemeckis' take on it, and Tom Hanks just can do no wrong. He's America's dad. He's the world's dad. Everyone loves Tom Hanks. And when it comes to the Disney live-action remakes, I've enjoyed a lot of them. More than most people, at least. I always go into these movies wanting a new version of a classic story. If it's great, we get two awesome versions of a classic, and if it's not, we always have the original to go back to. So I think these live-action updates, if you want to call it that, they have their place. They're an introduction of a classic tale for a new generation. And when it comes to Pinocchio, on a visual standpoint, I think this film looks great. Jiminy Cricket looks weird because he is a walking, talking cricket. But I think he looks really good. I think Pinocchio looks wonderful. He looks exactly like Pinocchio should look. Everything about the visuals is reminiscent of a Robert Zemeckis classic. You can see his identity, his stamp, all over the visuals in this film, which is a great marriage of recreating classic shots and segments and moments from the original with the Robert Zemeckis magic, if you will, added to it. Tom Hanks, I think he's just a bundle of joy to watch as Geppetto. He's just really fun in this role. Why he takes Figaro and Cleo all over the place with him, I don't know. It makes no sense. It isn't exactly his best performance, as throughout this entire film, he's just, oh my god, Pinocchio, where is Pinocchio? Oh my, he's just reacting extremely surprised at everything that happens around him. And Pinocchio, through his journey of trials and tribulations, offers a classic coming-of-age tale of a young boy deciding what is right, what is wrong, and who he wants to be, which is helped by the fact that him and Jiminy spend a lot of this film apart from one another. They come together here and there, they help each other out, but for the most part, it is really up to Pinocchio to decide for himself. And there are some really fun and even visually stunning sequences in this, whether it's the blue fairy coming down to give life to Pinocchio, the Stromboli sequences, or even Pleasure Island. I had a ton of fun watching those elements come to life. These are all qualities in the film, but you might recognize that all these qualities are present in the original, which is the biggest issue with this film. It is just a recreation. But to appease my conscience, I need to tell you to start the conversation about Pinocchio in the comments below. Let me know your take on the live-action remake, your opinions on the original, and what is your favorite Disney live-action remake. Anything and everything down there. And if you are enjoying this review, if you love movies and TV, this is the place to be. So consider clicking that subscribe button, and you won't miss any future conversations on your favorite movies and TV. The entire film just feels competently made from a technical aspect. It is a perfectly fine, inoffensive, forgettable version of this classic story. It's a cover act that you would never choose to watch if you have the chance to watch the original. That's exactly what we have here. On Disney Plus, you will see Disney's Pinocchio next to this new live-action remake. And will I ever watch this new one over the original? No, not really. And that's exactly the problem here, is that the new one feels so forgettable why would I ever watch it again? Is it fun to see all these moments from the animated classic come to life in a live action, enhanced with CGI backgrounds, obviously? It's really fun. It's really amusing to see the recreations of it all, but it feels like a lesser version of what came before. And I know a lot of people accuse a ton of these Disney live action remakes of being exactly that. But to me, it just feels lifeless. The film doesn't feel so invested in telling this story through these sequences of the journey of this character. It feels much more interested in trying to recreate what was already there without carrying any of the magic, any of the emotion, any of the whimsy or sense of wonder that it was so ever present in that original. Even Pleasure Island, as much fun as it is, feels so surface level. It feels like it happens just for us to get the next point in the story. And that's what every scene, every sequence in this entire film feels like. It needs to get done with so we can get to the next one. It doesn't feel invested in its own story. It feels so much like a shot-for-shot remake, but it doesn't carry any of the magic of those original shots. When it tries to do something new, as stupid as it can sound, as stupid as it can feel and seem at first glance, like Pinocchio water skiing through a seagull carrying a rope for him that is pulling him, it's stupid, but it's really fun. The movie did something different. Everything else around this feels like a shortened or unnecessarily expanded version of familiar sequences. And while I really enjoy the ending of this film, I feel like they finally take a chance on that. It doesn't feel like the entire film building up to it earns it whatsoever. Even the relationship with Pinocchio and Geppetto, these characters barely see each other throughout this entire film, and the film moves so fast in trying to just recreate all these scenes and get done with them. You don't carry any of the lessons, any of the magic, any of the sense of adventure. Even the sequence in Pleasure Island, again, feels so surface level. None of those horror elements that were so ever present in it are carried over into this one. It is such a shame because Robert Zemeckis has been on a cold streak for a while. Not since The Walk in 2015 have I enjoyed a film of his. And Pinocchio just seemed like it was a perfect fit for him. But the film doesn't allow his magic or the original's magic to be carried through. So in the end, Pinocchio is fine. It is not without merit, but all the merit it has going for it comes from the original's whimsy and sense of wonder. Zemeckis' visual splendor shines through in key sequences, but they aren't enough to elevate this mundane cover act from mediocrity. I'm giving Pinocchio a C-. And that is my review on the latest Disney live-action remake, Pinocchio. Let me know what you make of it in the comments below. Let me know your take on the original animated one. I'm still rooting for Peter and Wendy. Let's hope that one is good. Thank you so much for watching. Big shout out to my channel members for always supporting the channel. And I'll be back very soon with more reviews. So until the next one, love each other and love the movies.